Well, good morning, afternoon, lunch. Folks, it's lunchtime here in the U.S., noontime Central Time. Welcome aboard. Flying with Mike, it's Friday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. After a fantastic flight last night from Shanghai to Beijing, today we're going to have equally as much fun Seattle to San Francisco. And we're going to do it in the Felis 747-200. And from the sounds of things behind me, I'm in trouble. I've woken up the 3-month-old. No, I think it's time for her to. Oh, well, excuse me back there. Oh, but anyway, folks, we're having fun. It's Friday, folks. I hope you all have a great weekend planned. We have a pretty decent one here, hopefully on the quiet side. So for now, we're in Felis. We're gonna fly. I do want to put one thing out there. If you're gonna fly this plane, I just found out about. That's why we were a couple minutes later than I was aiming for it at noontime. I know that's an hour from when I really wanted to start, but there's other issues with that. Um, we ran into an issue. We were starting this aircraft up not as an administrator. Okay, so we got our computer started. We're clicking through, getting things ready for the stream. We didn't click Flight Sim as an administrator. For our, bear with me, I have to look at it to be able to tell you. One of our PIREP systems. Oh boy, they're really making this challenging. Smart cars. There we go. Finally got things moved to where I could see it enough. Smart cars 3 to be exact. Um, for me at least, I have to start by just clicking no administrative or anything like that on it on the sim as well as Smart Cars 3. So I gave it a try today. And what happened is, and we'll show more when we get in the cockpit, the fuel gauge levels. Well, heck, let's just do it because I can't off top of my head without probably seeing it. So basically, where we ran into trouble was these gauges would not show anything. And, hang on, this FMC would not show, but this one did. And we had nothing but yellow lines in where the numbers are. So just a tip to you all out there, um, make sure to start as an administrator. Unfortunately, I probably won't get to fly this on the cargo division for Millennium Aviation. Oh well. It is what it is. But I just thought I'd throw that out there. And folks, if you know how to get around that, oh, I have a tip for you. Oh, well, you're actually not able to hear me right now. So I will hold my tip for a second and just recap real quick. But anyway, while we're here, we're in the Fearless cockpit. For those who subscribe, you are the lucky dogs to get to hear this. We're in a 3-man crew. And this plane flew minimum 3-man crew. Long distance, of course, there may be as many as 6. A relief crew. All right, so to the left you had the captain, to the right you had the first officer, the pretty boys, as we affectionately call them here at Flying with Mike. Behind them, the working man, the heavy labor, the guy that makes sure the plane is flying. And that is the flight engineer. He's the one, folks. Now, if you've flown the 747 too, I said, man, that was a really good flight. That's because he controls not only your air conditioning, not only the fact that you were able to breathe above 10,000 feet because of the pressurization system and that the engines kept burning because he monitored fuel and the engines and the electricity and hydraulics and so many other things this man does to make your flight as enjoyable as possible. Don't get me wrong, these two worked hard at keeping their hair combed properly and their nails trimmed just right. No, no. No, they were the ones, of course, mostly handling navigation and stuff like that. However, the first officer, when he would board, would get things going because this plane does take time to get going, folks. Not only does it take a lot, as you will find out, to get his station going, he would a lot of times get things in a position so when the pretty boys, I mean the captain and first officer, came aboard, they could get to setting up the flight itself navigationally and ready for pushback. So he would come up, put these in a line. These are your INSs. He would possibly even come down and go so far as to put the coordinates in to start the alignment process. But, he's going to shy away from the rest because they stay longer in their briefing talking weather and this and that. So, long story short, these guys, well, you're doing it all. So, you're proving this plane could have been flown. Albeit I'd love to have been in that cockpit to watch. Then it would be totally against what I'm about to say. Would have loved to have watched one man fly this plane, as we're about to do. All right, so I was talking when we went to the break real quick. The gauges that went out were right here. If you all know how to um, use Smart Cars 3 without having, with clicking it to be an administrator and the simulator, I'd love to hear it because I'm obviously doing something wrong. So, all right. So enough on that. But I really did want to point out because I actually do know some folks from the Felis group do watch from time to time. Maybe they'll hear and tell me, sorry, Charlie, that's how it is. Well, sorry, Mike, but yeah, we'll give you the liberty there. It was a good commercial. Um, but anyway, so let's get after it, shall we? And we're going to bring in some toolkit here. We're going to go through it real quick. We've already got the flight planned, ready to go through Pan Am Virtual. And folks, there's an airline. If you're looking to join one, check them out. They are kind of new still, but they're folks. They got some really good stuff there. Um, if you're into Pan Am, we're flying the 1985 schedule. I believe it's summer. I'd have to double check, but it's a really good bunch. We fly TWA routes, we fly Pan Am routes, Atlas routes. And then for those of you that dabble in DCS, get a hold of that CEO. They actually have a flying squadron you can become a part of if you're into the DCS world. And yes, if that is coming through, I don't think it is. The 3-month-old is trying to get her debut on Twitch. Oh, look, Hawker 125 came out of lurk because he heard DCS. That's right. Your squadron I was uh, advertising for. Oh. So, but anyway, boy, she really is trying, folks, to get on Twitch here. But anyway, that is her expressing her lungs. All right, let's get going. Oh, now I scared. I'm on TV. Oh no. All right, so let's get this thing going. Here's the route, folks. I'm going to zoom just a little tighter so we get some of the fixes. All right, so you can see Harbor 6, ERAVE, KKARP, CAMAS, DINSE, ENI, Stennis for arrival. So, folks, beautiful flight today. I think the weather, and we are back, by the way, on real world weather. Uh, we were off it last night. For those that didn't catch that, we were actually flying VFR few clouds, I think was the model. But anyway, we had a problem going into Podong a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of updates with X plane, and of course a navgraph update occurred since. We had no ILSs in there. I don't know where the breakdown occurred. I doubt rotate. No, it could have been rotate. Now that I think about it, I couldn't pull up the ILS for it. So a whole number of things could have gone wrong to cause that. And I've had that in other sims. So that is not nothing new. It's just annoying when you find that airport. Because next time you go in, it won't be that one. It'll be the next one you want to go to. So it's just an annoyance. But we were able to land it. But again, I wanted to make sure it wasn't something to do with China, being that we were staying in China. So anyway, we're real world weather. Everything's back to how I like to fly. And hope you enjoy. Okay, loadout today. We're going with what Pan Am scheduled us with, 366 people crammed into this sardine can. Okay, a very long sardine can, but nonetheless, a sardine can. And we're transporting them to San Francisco. So I'm not going to do the jingle. Boy, I was so tempted. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So for that 366 people, we have 80,520 pounds of payload. Brought our zero fuel to 467,209. We're going to throw on 67-ish thousand pounds of fuel. I think it came in around 69. We'll go over that here. No worries. And again, route Mach 0.85, and we're going to go out of here at 33,000. Hallelujah. We're not in meters like we are in China. Oh, that can get so stressed. It's so hard sometimes. And this aircraft, it would be. What is the what's the conversion? So, oh, yeah. Weather, whether or not we go, looks great, folks. Beautiful weather here. Weather winds out of the north at 7. Ooh, okay, I haven't done it that. Okay, 10 miles visibility. A few clouds up at 25,000. Gorgeous day here in the Puget Sound. 70 degrees. Boy, folks, doesn't get much better than that. You know, sometimes they said some of the coldest winters were spent in San Francisco in summer. Case in point, winds are out of the northwest at 6, 10 miles visibility. We got a few pesky clouds at 700 and 1200. Folks, it's 13 degrees there in the Bay City. That's 55 degrees. It's summertime. It's almost 100 here in St. Louis. Like the saying says, the coldest winters I've ever spent are a summer in San Francisco. So, whew, chilly, chilly, chilly. All right, let's pre-file. I don't know if we'll get on VATSIM, and I'll tell you why. Frame rates are an issue right now with Felis. And I'm not sure where the issue lies, especially for me. And if I'm going to be battling frame rates, folks, in some of these big cities, I don't go on VATSIM, respecting the controllers and the pilots because you don't want to keep seeing a plane bounce up just as you clear them, bounce off. Because 20 seconds, folks, or is it 30? Whatever the rule is. I see I need to go in and do some homework. Boom. All right, so we are scheduled out of here, folks. 45 minutes after the hour. We got to get to work. So we're filed. We're ready to go. Hang on, let me clear that. And again, looks clear. Hardly a traffic here, so that could be some saving grace. All right, so pull that down. Let's get after it. All right, now I have done maybe one or two things. We came in, we got the jetway in. Here, let's just start over here. We'll open. Okay, we went in, we put the chocks on, connected both ACU and GPU, ground power, air conditioning, and now we've opened the doors. But the jetway is up to the plane, as you can see. And so now let's go ahead, calculate out our flight. All right, so all right, so there we are, 366, 367,209. There's our big numbers. Now, first off, this page is just a calculator, and this is what I talk about. We are not connected yet. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. 125. Okay, so we're Papa Alpha Alpha 125 and a Bravo 742. 3525. Let me go ahead and get that. All right, 3525. All right. And for now, we'll go ahead and get rid of the ATC. All right, so now let's get back to work. We are online and we're doing fair. When they go below 20 for a certain amount of time, we get a warning message, too long, disconnects. Okay, that's why I'm very, very cognizant of this. All right, but anyway, this page on the EFB. So when you come in here, you would click load calculator. Okay, it just calculates, folks. So we put in 100% dialed back to our 366. However you want, folks. It doesn't specify where they went. Next, okay, we have no cargo, our zero fuel weight matched. Now we need our fuel. So that's not what I want. I wanted that. All right, so for the fuel, we're planning 67, hang on, 828. However, today's flight is, I'm going to what I know best. All right, 665 miles, 733 is our desired. Now we've got a wicked headwind, 30 knots. So how do you determine positive or negative? There's positive, there's negative. Watch your fuel. A tailwind would get you there quicker, right, folks? Headwind, you got to push more fuel to get that speed. So if that fuel goes up, you got the headwind. And there we go. If you didn't believe me, watch. So 54,748. See how it went up to 58? So you know you put the tailwind in. I'm sorry, the headwind. Alternate distance. Bear with me. I think it's 117. It is. I'm going to put in 150. I put on 10% contingent fuel and 20-minute taxi fuel. Okay. And what that brings us up to is 76,442 pounds of fuel. A wee bit more than our 67,000. Folks, I have always found in all the years, albeit two that I flew, well, maybe it was three, but anyway, all those many years of hard backbone flying, 3 years, real aircraft, not sim. It's always good to have more fuel than less. When you run out of fuel, things just go bad. It's not a good day. So thankfully, I never did. And I don't think I ever got close. I was close in a couple other areas, like not enough runway and this and that, but I never got close, folks, on running out of fuel. That is your lifeline, folks, in the air. Those engines followed by that fuel to keep those engines a burning. Okay, so 76,000 pounds of fuel's going on board. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's right, 10%. Now, final results then is 366. There's our payload, 80,520. There's our zero fuel weight, which was planned for. Estimating 467,209. And our estimate of takeoff weight will be heavier because we took on more fuel. And our landing weight will be estimated higher because of that. All right, so this is all set. Here's what it looks like on your load sheet. We're going to now get into loading. All right, refuel. Always click use load data sheet on everything that pertains to the plane from this point on. What it does, it loads what was on your load sheet. Use load sheet. There it is. Now, you can instantly load it or have the tanker putting on. You know what? Let's see how long it takes. There it goes, loading it up. Hopefully correctly. I did run into that, but that's way back. Okay, use date. Now we're on packs and cargo. That is payload. Use data sheet. So we're going to put 366 peeps in. This and this all equal. We'll have a crew of 17. And by the way, folks, they count for your souls on board. Hate to break that one to you. They do count. Yeah, I think they want to count. Board, load. Well, the good thing is we're not loading any cargo, so that's taken care of. And there goes the start of a long day of putting 300, no, 300 people boarding, or almost 400 people boarding. and we get to move on. We'll come back. All right. So now, as you all know in this plane, there are checklists to help you. Feel free to pull them up, use them while we're going through. I'm just going to do it the way I do it. I'm going to try and be pretty quiet unless I get to something that's important. So just kind of follow along. Remember, folks, I will put this up to YouTube later today, or tomorrow, for you to watch what you may have missed. Okay, so here we go. I start over here. Usually I would start with firing the APU up. We're fueling, so we'll wait. Also, quick note, if it says the words test, test. Because if you run the checklist, that's what it's looking that you did things, certain things, and if not, it'll wait till you do. So here we go. All right, I go to the fire or to the circuit board wall here so I can face the overhead. There's your T handles for engine fires and a few other. Okay, I'm just getting the current altimeter 2997 now. All right, we'll leave it right there. It's pretty close. And that's just getting your pressure. We'll get the ones up front here in a second. I think we might be full of fuel. Patience is a virtue here, folks. Sometimes I have it, sometimes I want to get through these cross speeds so quickly. Light bulb check. Okay, and that takes care of here. Bear with me. I'm going to go back to Okay, we are refueled. Okay. Going to go ahead, kick on the APU. Fuel door, or outer door. Okay, just waiting on the APU to spool up so we can start cooling this aircraft down. Okay, we're at 100%, all set, good. I always close the top, come in here, move my panel down, check my jets. Okay. All right, now I'm just going to close. That puts us on internal power. And with the bleed now pushing in, all right, so that should have us all up. Now we can come over here. Ground.
Cockpit to ground. Disconnect ground power.
You'll see the lights go out under EXT 1 and 2. There.
Ground power disconnected.
Nothing with this one. All right, and if we look outside, not any razzmatazz, just let you see it. All right, so now let's get into the overhead. Okay, anti-skid close, body gear steer open, and make sure it's armed. Okay, I had already done that. Same with your INS. Make sure you move them to a line when the green light ready comes on. Move them to nav. Another light bulb check. This is for up in the front. And you may need to do this if you're uncertain if a gear light or something's on. All right, now we're getting down to where it's fun. I want you to find your approach plate for Seattle. And pick any, folks. Just find one for an ILS. I'm just going to go for 3-4 right. And we're just going to plug the localizer in. Both of them. Okay, panel lights on, radio INS set. We're not worried too much about courses, although we can set them since, you know, that's going to be coming up here eventually. I'd leave this one. You know, these will need to be set, so. All right, so why did we set these? We actually can test our primary display and our HSI. Up left indication, so we have an up on the glide slope, left on the localizer. Down right, we'll see down, but the right, well, we're already right of the center line, so guess what? That's as close as we get. And then 16.8. We'll do that in a second. Okay, the bars work. Off, off, off. Heading selected. Vertical speed 0. Altitude's fine. I have no idea what to call this, so I'll just call it my climb initiate. What we're going to climb in, be it VS, vertical speed, indicated speed, Mach. I don't know what to call it. Altitude switch is not on either select or hold. Another flight director to check. And another up left, down right, down right, right. INS radio switch is in radio. We do not have a panel switch, and then this panel switch here governs your 6-pack and that right here. No, it's not your body, folks. All right. Now, that takes care of this. Now, I said I was going to change a frequency. I'll change this one to 1680 Seattle VOR. Why? It gives me a DME back. All right. So let's start going across here and checking our instruments. Test. Okay, those lit up. Good. Altimeter. 2997. There we go. Now, this radar altimeter will emit an audible. The other one won't when we do the test. Don't know why. Sure, the Felis team could let us know. I just don't know why we don't get two. Why it doesn't. Or unless one's all you need anyway in the cockpit. Maybe that's it. Okay, I'm going to back off because instrument warnings, all of them have lit up over the captain's side and the first officer side above your, I call it gyro, your head, your attitude indication, telling you need an attitude adjustment. Okay, max indications are all reset now. This one you've heard, but you may not have understood why. get your altitude alert that you've reached your altitude. And we've never heard this one before. I know, folks. I am just that great of a pilot.
Pull up. Glide slope. Glide slope. Pull up. Glide slope. Glide slope. Pull up.
We've never heard it just that many times. We've usually heard it say, pull up, pull up, pull up. No. All right, and then your rudder ratio is going to show here. Okay. I've missed a couple. All right, so over here, well, I should have kept it. Doggone it, because, yeah, we're going to do the test. Both of them are showing. Good. Good. Now we can come over. Again, double check. Altimeter is correct. Okay. All right, everything's looking good. We have hydraulic pressure. It is in the green. Now, one thing this aircraft has that many of you of this generation, not my generation, but of this one, has no clue that this is called a CRT, cathode ray tube, not liquid displays or plasma display or whatever the heck the name of them, the flavored name of the day is for them. Which means they needed to have those ray tubes warmed up. That's what we're doing. As we go across, all the switches look good. This one's warming up. All right. That's just saying you're not configured for takeoff. Believe it or not, it will ask you. All right, so as we look down, okay, speed brakes are down. Flaps are showing 0 here, and then 0 and 0. Inboard, outboard. Fuel levers are in idle cutoff. Parking brake set. And here's that infamous trim that I tell you Boeing one of these days may learn. Maybe put these, ability to see the number up on the screens. Of course, there are no screens here, so, do the best you can. And then we're just doing a general check here. Radio frequencies are ready. We are in Sea-Tac country, folks. We're back in VAT USA, so we'll get that and put it in. Unless somebody comes up between now and then, or we don't decide to come online. Here's what an INS unit looks like. There's 2 more, which would have been up where my 2 FMCs are. Long story, won't get into why we don't do it. It's the same kind of reasoning why I don't fly DCS. It really just got to where I just didn't want to deal with them anymore, so I just got rid of them. Same with DCS. Got rid of it. Won't go back. So all right, so let's see. 25, everything looks good. Okay, we are set, ready to go. Let's dial up to 5. All right, so let's get that flight plan put in real quick and we're ready to go. And I'm pretty sure everybody's on board. KSEA, KSFO, OT1. Oh. Harbor 6. So everything looks right. I like to go in and make sure going off right. Okay, so we planned 3, 4, and I'm going to double check with the flight plan. 3, 4, 3, 4, 3. Right. 3, 4, right. Activate. Harbor 6, activate. ERAVE, activate. Execute. All right, so now what I want to do is we're going to bring in charts. I do recommend charts, folks. I mean, it is payware, so, you know, I leave that up to you. But I'm going to tell you, it is a really flat out awesome program. It gives you where before you had to hunt, peck, Google, pick your browser to find approach, that just to find approach, let alone SID and stars that were current to what your nav data was. You might find them with, just so that you are out there still trying to do this free, you may find them, albeit difficult, Canada being one, at the like VAT USA, whatever controls them, or individual centers. Like over in Europe, if you would go to France, Germany, Austria, you know, those center levels, they may have it, or VAT Europe might have it, or whatever the heck they go by today. But now this program came out, NavGraph charts, all of them are in there, right at your fingertips for just a little extra on your monthly subscription to keep your flight sim up to date, to keep your FMCs up to date. Folks, keeping your flight sim up to date is a new thing. That started about 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago. Don't know when that actually started. Beforehand, you were stuck with whatever the sim was. So that's where hunting for those SIDs and stars came in handy. Your sim may be 6 years old, and charts can be 6 years old then. Now everything can be up to date with NavGraph or whatever the other sim uses. And you get this with NavGraph, you're getting all of the Jebsen charts, mostly Jebsen. There are a few thrown in that aren't. But for the most part, they're Jebsen. They're the highest quality you can find out there. So, really love this. Then you can throw in overlays of weather, overlays of like this standard en route chart. Blah, it's all white. Well, we can change that by simply going to that. That's not the world chart. I can go in. I did it once and then I got stuck. It took me a while to get back. And it's just because of me, folks, not because of the program. So I don't mind it. I can also turn it to dark. That's better. I still prefer this. All right. So anyway, long story short, I really do recommend this program. And I recommend Felix. Oh, do I, folks? If you're into the classics, you're looking at a classic, besides the guy behind the mic. Anyway, who's about to drop mic. Ouch. Um, anyway, so let's check our routing out. Now, all we're going to be able to do is fix, fix, fix. We can't go by any kind of airwaying or something like that. Nor can we put it onto the screens here. But I just like to make sure we have our fixes in there correct. Because, folks, you've seen this week, we've had to fix a lot of them. And if we would have had to do that in flight, it's very difficult. Not that it can't be done, because it is done in the real world, but it should have been caught on the ground. Okay, Adome, Rem, all the way down to Habo, Arobe, to ERAVE. And then I hope we can do it this way. KARP, CAMAS, CAMAS. Dennis is next. Dennis, however you want to say it. And ENI. This starts our Stennis arrival. Okay. So we'll pull up Stennis. We're coming in on ENI right here. So ENI Pi Stens. So direct. Again, now this can actually be flown carefully. You can do it, folks. Really can. Just realize your plane's moving at a pretty good clip. Even at not at cruise. You're going to go through 60 miles pretty quick at 220. Actually, you'll be above that because it's 9,000 here, so you'll be above 10,000, so you could be at cruise still. So you're going to have to be on your game, or just let it tick off. Okay, Stens, next page, and that's where it sends us to SFO. All right, here's where we intervene. Looking at real world, currently in use, landing runways 28 left, 28 right, departing the ones. So landing the 28s, departing the ones. I am shocked. Is this real world? It is. Wow, I'm even more shocked. They have been, unless this has been worked out. If you'd have looked at real world ATIS information out of San Francisco, you would have always gotten for your takeoff runways, make sure you have briefed both runways, all four, something to that effect. They had a big clamor happen. They had a United Jet they switched runways on him while taxiing, and they briefed up for the runway they had cleared him to. And the controller got all over his case for not being prepared for both runways. And, oh yeah, that exploded. I'm sure unions clashed. Oh, that was ugly. Yeah, and it held up and made 2 go-arounds, I think. Yeah, it was ugly. Now you see it. So now they got to brief up for both runways, be ready for the switch. It's just, ugh. That's one place I would never want to work, is SFO or Los Angeles. Seattle? Yeah, that could be too, because you could run into that. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's on YouTube, folks, I think. It may have been pulled. But it was amazing to listen to. All right, so we're going to come off Stens, and we're going to we're planning 28 right. So again, arrival, ILS 28 right. We're going to take, no, we're going to come in on, hang on, I've already pulled it. You're going to kind of laugh. I am going to head for Eddie. Hang on, I want to just see what's under that. Eddie. I changed my mind. I was planning in my head to go to Eddie, but I knew we may need that little extra to get lined up. And okay. Wait a minute, why are you on vectors? Eddie, thank you. Now let's see what it did. All right, we're going Eddie. Actually, I'm going to stick a waypoint in between. Again, this is why you need to be thinking about this here. You get a controller between here and there, he can botch everything you do here. Yes, I get it. 100%. All of that work for naught. But if you don't have a controller, guess what? You're on your own. And for me, what I would like to do, Stens is like right about here. I'd like to head down to OSI. Actually headed on a 036 to hook in. You see what I'm saying? I want to be able to grab this off the Oakland VOR and then come in. We'll do this the best we can. Remember, I don't have magenta lines here, folks. So that helps when you have those to follow. You don't have them and you're running off your, yeah. So we are planned, I believe. Stens, OSI, Eddy, City, CPEN. Okay, then AX Mull and 28 right. All right, and then out to Vaiku. Looks like about, doesn't say how far out, 12 miles. All right, so we're flight planned, folks. All right, so now let's go to VNAV. That page looks good. This page needs to say 33000. And let's do it, shall we? This is all set up. Now we'll set this one to progress. And we're ready to go, folks. Okay, we have currently on board our 17 crew members, 366 peeps, 0 cargo. That's what was projected. We have our refuel set at 76,442. That's what's on board now. So we'll go here, close, close, close. Now I do want to do this real quick. All right. Oh, you guys didn't get to see that because charts was in the way. My bad. Anyway, we just closed up the doors. Okay. Getting things set up here. All right. SFO. Our takeoff runway is 11,901 feet. Okay. Elevation 432. Heading 324. 347. That was close. Well, we can't do it anyway. 347. Go with that. And we're dry. Temperature. Okay. Temperature here 22. Barometric pressure 96. And that is 13 minutes ago. So we have to reset everything. Winds 290 at 6. Okay, so with all of this set in, bear with the slope in because I do know there might be a mean one. 0.7. Got that from Sim Toolkit, by the way, folks. All right, so we're looking at 132, 140, 154 for our departure speeds. If we click here, it'll set our speed bugs to handle all of this. Stab trim will be 4.5 units. Initial pitch 16 degrees. Optimum climb 307. We're not going to go into that much. But folks, without authorization, you fly 250. And that authorization doesn't come from the airline. It comes when you call takeoff. Otherwise, you do 250. They can let you go faster, but it's their call, not just because you're in a big fat bird. So 307, 16. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. Let's do it.
Before start checklist, please. Gear lever and lights. Down and check. Brakes. Parked. Start levers. Off. Radios. On and check. Flight control hydraulic power. On. INS. Check and nav. Compasses. Slaved. Window heat. On. Seatbelts and no smoking. On. Emergency lights. Armed. Exterior lights. Check. Flight instruments. Check. Altimeters and clocks. 1015. Set and cross-check. Radio INS switches. Radio. Radar and transponder. Standby. Indicator lights. Check. Engine and wing anti-ice. Off. Stall warning. Check. Mach airspeed warning. Check. Auto brakes. Check and off. Body gear steering. Arm. Anti-skid. On. Autopilot and flight director. Check and off. Takeoff warning. Check. Auto flight enunciators. Check. GPWS. Check. Instrument warning. Check. Flight director computer selectors. Check. Instrument source selectors. Normal. Reserve brake valve. Closed. Spoilers. Down. Static selectors. Normal. Oxygen mask and regulator. Check and emergency off. Brake pressure. Check. Stabilizer trim. Check and on. Rudder and aileron trim. Check. Checklist completed.
All right, let's move to the next.
Battery. On. APU panel. Check. Auxiliary power. Check. Engine oil quantity. Check. Fuel quantity. 75949 pounds. Fuel panel. This. Check and set. Pressurization controls. Check and set. Bleed controls. Wait. Check and set. Hydraulic quantity. Check. EPR computer. This.
All right, they want it in go around, folks. I keep it takeoff dry. So what we do here is very simple. I just check it.
Circuit breakers. Check. Indicator lights. Check. Electrical panel. Check and set. Air conditioning controls. Wait. Check and set. Fire control and wing overheat panels. Check and set. Equipment cooling. Check. Passenger oxygen. Check. Hydraulic panel. Check and set. Fuel jettison panel. Check. Crew oxygen. On. Oxygen mask and regulator. Check and emergency off. ADPs. Off. Checklist completed.
All right, next one's after we start, folks. So I say time to go. Give me a second here. And the ACARS program's running, so that'll make Spaceman happy over at our illustrious VA. and we're ready to go. So as you can see, it's after start. Let's first off double check. Closing up the doors.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. On behalf of the entire crew, welcome aboard the Boeing 747 Classic. We will depart shortly after we have our clearance and the cabin crew is finished with their preparations. For now, I wish you a pleasant flight, and I will be back during the flight with further flight information. Cockpit to ground. Remove the chocks.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Cleared to connect, face west.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright folks, I say we're ready to push.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Ready to start the engines.
Ready for engine start.
Cabin crew, arm slides.
All doors are closed and armed.
Okay, we've got it ready to start. We'll start engine number 3 on number 1, 4 on system 1, and then 1 and 2.
Starting engine 3.
Starter valve open.
Now you're not going to see N2 up here. It is actually right over here, top gauge number 3 engine.
20% and 2.
And he'll tell you.
Fuel on. Light up.
Now you'll see activity up front. You just have the EPR N1, EGT, and fuel flow. That's it up front. Now some of them do have more. That's all this
Starter
one
off.
is.
There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit.
Engine stabilized.
Your nearest exit
And once you get that, you can head up here,
evacuate the aircraft. Floor level lighting will guide you towards the exit. Doors will
and
be
we'll do
open
number
by
4.
Starting engine 4.
of the arrow.
Starter valve open.
Doors equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached and used as a life raft. Oxygen and air pressure are always being monitored. In the event of a decompression, an oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. To start the
20% and 2.
pull the mask towards
Fuel on.
Place it
Light up.
over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate,
Starter off.
to remove it. In the event of an emergency, please attempt
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
on top of your head and your elbows against your thighs.
Engine stabilized.
Your feet are flat on the
Parking
floor.
brake set.
The left
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
your seat or between the
Starting engine 1.
when instructed to do
Starter valve open.
open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Flip it over your head. Pass the strap
Starting engine 2.
and adjust them to match.
Starter valve open.
To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding, folks. We're going to do both engines at once.
20% and 2.
Number 1.
Fuel on. Lights up.
All electronic devices must
20% and 2.
Fuel on. Lights up.
We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by law. You will find this and all the other safety
Starter off.
precautions in a card located in the seat pocket in front of you. We strongly suggest you read it before taking.
Starter off.
If you have any questions,
Need
please
2
contact
Engine
engines.
stabilized.
There's 1.
We wish you
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal
Engine
will be on the
stabilized.
left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Thanks for the pushback there. Better pushback. I know you're free. We sure appreciate that in the flight sim world. All right, both engines have come up. We're ready to go. And let's get over here. First thing I always do, start getting our engines on the internal generators of those engines and close the system. Now, at this point, folks, uh-oh, what happened with number 2? All right, we got a little bit of a problem. It's number 2 not going. There it goes. All right, coming off the bleed. APU shut down. Hydraulics coming on. Checklist, real quick. Starter, brakes, door warning lights, flight recorder. Start.
After start checklist.
Flight recorder.
On.
Start switches.
Off.
Beacon lights.
On.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Start levers.
Idle detent.
Engine and the ice.
Off.
Electrical panel. Check. Pack valves. Open. Dual warning lights. Out. Hydraulic panel. Check. Flight recorder. On. After start checklist completed.
Flaps 10.
Okay. Start through this now. Hang on. Let me just. Okay, your gauge here for your controls is right here, so I'm just watching it. Okay, flight controls are good. I'm going to go ahead and hide this for now. It's right here, the click spot. What else do we need? Stabilizer trim. Hang on. We got it right here. Needs to be set 4.5. We'll We'll do our best interpreting this. It's not exact. Yaw damper, seatbelt, fuel heats off, totalizer, engineer panel set, aft cargo heat. We're ready to taxi. Close that switch. Aft cargo heat to normal. Here we go. Seattle traffic, Clipper 125 heavy, taxi to runway 34 right.
Taxi checklist, please.
Flaps. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Takeoff data, EPR and airspeed bugs.
Set and cross-check. Parking brake released.
Stabilizer trim.
Set in green band.
Probe heat.
On.
Flight controls.
Check.
Yaw dampers.
Check.
Seatbelt and shoulder harness.
Check.
APU. Off. Fuel heat. Off. Totalizer and gross weight. Set. Flight engineer and pilot panels. Check. Aft cargo heat. Normal. Seatbelt and shoulder harness. Check. Taxi checklist completed.
All right, here we go, folks. We'll head on down. Yeah, Burr really didn't know if we were going to get this flight going when those gauges went dark like they did. So I'm glad they're back and we're good. And folks, we did that not too shabby. Hang on a second. All right, we got one more checklist to do while we taxi.
Before takeoff checklist.
Icing considerations.
Check.
Cabin alert.
Check.
Transponder.
Check.
Ignition.
Little click spot for you up here too, folks, right
Flight
there.
start.
Body gear steering.
Now
Hold
that
on.
will hold on. All right, so body gear steering, folks. What that is, I do want to kind of, I can't really demonstrate it till I'm for sure we're good for takeoff. And we're not on Sea-Tac. Hang on. Okay. All right. Easier to show this way, folks. These set of gear right here will pivot as you turn to try to help make you go around the curves at these airports a little easier, not dragging those wheels, tearing rubber up, and so forth. So that's what this body gear steering is all about. Just making sure nobody's trying to land. I don't see anyone. Okay, and I don't have anyone on TCAS. Just look back behind me. And Seattle traffic, Clipper 125 heavy, departing 3-4 right on common traffic. Okay, we're set.
Cabin ready.
Clipper 125 heavy, Seattle Tower. Runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Oh, Seattle Tower did not see that you'd come up. Understood, cleared for takeoff. And sorry about that, Seattle Tower. I did not see that you came up. I was on common traffic.
Yeah, Clipper 125 heavy, I just came up, so no worries. You're good to go. Thanks for checking back.
Clipper 125 copies. Just about to start our roll. Okay, lights.
Disarm.
Back valves. Let's see. Closed. Pressurization mode selector. Auto. Fuel boost pumps. On. Cross feed valves.
Alaska 65,
Check.
Seattle Tower, are you with
Before
me?
takeoff checklist completed. Stabilized. Cross set.
80 knots. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up.
Clipper 125 heavy, departures offline.
Gears up.
Monitor Unicom, frequency change approved. Have a great flight.
Monitor Unicom, thanks for the short brief ATC. Clipper 125 heavy.
Seattle Tower, good morning, Alaska 65, with you taxi to runway 34 right. Alaska 65, Seattle Tower, let me get a quick clearance. You're clear to KSEA Airport via Bangor 9 departure, Pangle transition, minutes filed. On via Citic, set maintain 900,000, expect 36015 miles, 15 miles from the Seattle VATSIM. Departures offline, squawk 1663.
Flaps 1. Flaps up.
All right, folks, we're airborne. All right, a little bit of quiet, I know there, trying to get out of here. A lot goes on that 3 people do. We're at Atome, Atoll, however you want to call it. We're climbing at 240 knots on the Harbo departure. Brem, which is actually, I think, Bremen. Anyway, we make the turn, headed down to Harbo. Harbor. Flaps up. Now you're probably wondering, why aren't you running the after takeoff? I'll show you. Give you a second to read it. Yeah, you gotta wait to 10,000 for that one. The rest is doable. Okay. Just passing 9,000. Okay, we can get the lights.
10,000.
Logo. We're in climb. Okay, we're into our en route climb. Once we establish that, folks, then I'll do it all. That way I can stay up with the plane and make sure we're flying it right to 10. Oh. All right, well, that's pretty useless. There we go, folks. We are set in. Now, granted, we're not tracking anything, although, no, Olympia's not even there. So, folks, we're in the clear here. We're on Unicom. And there you saw, Unicom is usually a tower frequency at the airports. And we just happened to catch just as we were ready to roll. All right, folks, we're on our way. Looking ahead. Second. Like most flight simulator renditions, I've taken a look at Ketchikan. That is one place I thought about flying to here during the month of July. I was a little disappointed. And folks, it's not an X-plane thing. It's not another sim thing. Ketchikan is a kind of a unique airport. It's actually 4 levels. You got the runway that then you actually taxi down hills to the main ramp, which is where your air carriers and most of your GA park. Then you have another ramp down to another parking area, down to another one. So and then you also have the seaplanes. So it's kind of unique, like I said, in that way. So, sure, what the heck is going on here with Simulware? Is it so crappy? Oh my goodness. Has it outlived its usefulness? Inquiring minds want to know. We just crossed 18,000 feet. We have not done it. Now we will. All right, let's after takeoff check. Gear, landing, ignition, packs. Okay, here we go.
After takeoff checklist.
Gear lever. Off. Landing and logo lights. Off. Ignition.
Check.
Seat belts and no smoking sign.
Check.
Back valves. Open. Fuel heat. Auto. After takeoff checklist completed.
All right, like I said, a lot of that, and you'll find that even on the descent, we're going to be doing a lot of this below 10,000 feet. So, all right, we're on our way, folks. Welcome. Clipper 125 is en route to San Francisco. And we just crossed ERAVE and now headed down. So I hope you enjoyed, folks. That took us about an hour and a half to get out all the way. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll try not to make it that long to get into San Francisco. Currently, by the way, 1 hour and 30, or call it 23 minutes ahead, and we should be there. So hope y'all enjoyed. We'll see you after the break. All right, folks, subscribers, here's your chance, since you're the ones that pretty much should be only hearing me. Duluth fly. Well, we're not going there with that last part. Sorry. I make magic happen, but no, we're not that name. Coolidez, welcome in. Howdy, sir. Howdy. How are you all? Get my chance to start looking back over the books here and see what we have going on. Huh. Interesting. I've never seen that, Duluth. You're going to have to... I know the shout-out with the exclamation mark, so... Never seen the message up at the top on my screen. Huh. Interesting. But welcome in. Alright, folks, we're back from the break. Welcome in Coolidez and Duluth Fly, one of our moderators. Thank you, sir. Let's see if our other DCS moderator is asleep at the wheel. He might be. He might have woke up with those 3 letters. Oh, he's awake. Hey, Hawker. Oh, we're having fun. Folks, it's Friday. Time to have some fun. Enjoy the flight, folks, down on the Clipper. Um, and kind of you two especially, the 2 moderators, and anyone else. Ideas, if you have any, for the upcoming next flight. Um, and I know Spaceman wants me to head to Japan. That's not going to happen today, as far as I know. Yep, yep. Oh, now it's Duluth wants to do it. Okay, well, we'll watch Duluth do it. You're gonna need a lot of coffee, energy bars, and for the 18-hour haul. All right, folks. Like I said, we're out to have fun today. That's, it's probably been rough weeks at work for you. And if we can lighten it up in any way, we really try to here. Yeah, a lot of tears in my beer. So let's just see where we're at. We're at 30,000 feet, Mach 0.80, so we're aiming for 0.85, folks. So, and of course, Duluth could go to Singapore from JFK. I don't think the plane would make it, but you could use that Concorde. Anyway, you'd have to stop for fuel, I'm pretty sure, somewhere. But you could definitely go out of Honolulu with it to Singapore. Now that wasn't too painful, but those frame rates are ever so low. Yeah, unfortunately, that is something right now. I don't know if that all falls upon X-Plane or if there was something they're working on in Felis. I don't know. But yeah, they are, yeah.
1,000 level off.
They're at that point where you may or may not be able to fly on your favorite online network. And I forgot a very important step there, folks. Woo, glad I caught it. Let's see if it actually does it. What I forgot to do is on takeoff, right before set this to altitude select. What happens if you don't? It'll blow right through your altitude. It doesn't know where to stop. Okay, I need to... and I set my speeds, so I'm doing it manually right now. All right, now I'm back on auto throttle. All right, so we'll see how that works. All right, but again, when you line up on takeoff, I highly recommend just go to altitude select. Then say the controller came on and said he wanted me to hold up at 5,000. That's what I was set for. It's a general 3 to 7,000 is what I've heard throughout the country. So 5,000 splits splits it. Well, the aircraft would level. Or if you didn't set altitude select, it just goes right through and just like you're climbing anyway. So that's why I highly recommend. This guy forgot to do it. Welcome to flying way too many aircraft on a sim and trying to keep them all straight. And that we could have blown right through 33,000. Huh. Just realized something. Why did it do that? Well, there won't be a YouTube video of this event. My apologies, folks. Somehow it stopped recording as I started. I don't know if I accidentally clicked the switch or what. But let me get in here. All right, I'll get that disabled so we won't see that again. So, yeah, we can't use the exclamation mark YouTube right now, folks. We weren't recording. So this flight will go down without a video. Bummer. I didn't catch that. Oh, I don't know why, but I did not catch that it did that. Yeah, I don't know why it did that. Oh well, we'll just continue on. But thanks you two for the moderation today. We sure appreciate it. All right, where are we? So we just came off KARP. Direct CAMAS. Ramp control in effect in Seattle. What in the world does that mean? I'm reading the VATSIM ATIS. Arrivals advise if you have 2 runway scenery. There's 3. Huh. Unless he's going to shove you out to that far one out in the pasture. Huh. Interesting. Let me, you know what? Let me double check. He is. Oh my goodness, he sure is. That's why. Oh wait, no, wrong one, sorry. Departing, landing, yeah. Inspect all visuals. Huh, it's interesting. Sometimes to read these, just besides the fact you got to. 2 runway scenery in Seattle. What the heck is that? There's 3 runways in Seattle. Well, unless, of course, you count the one that some of the aircraft land on that's a taxiway. But anyway, and that's real world, by the way, folks. It's very easy to get lined up on the wrong when you're going visual. I was just reading through the ATIS there on VATSIM in Seattle. All right, speaking of which, Redmond, you know, that's a place I may have to go to. Well, Duluth, we came up with an idea for your JFK to Singapore. Concord. You put JFK to Singapore out there. I said, there's what you could do, sir. Concord. Instead of 18 hours, you drop it down to about 9 hours. Maybe less. Of course, you will need at least a fuel stop. Either Anchorage or Hawaii. But yeah. And Hawker would join you with no trouble. Boy, I'm real good at getting into hot water. Ask my wife. All right. Well, anyway, folks, we are in cruise. We've got just 50 minutes to go. Let's take a look real quick. Oh, very cool. And by the way, I have been putting this request out. I have been trying to set it up to where when you put a not the predictions through some toolkit, but there is a predictions thing on my dashboard. But anyway, that you can set up to pull channel points or biddies. Now, I'd kind of like to go with channel points myself to help bring these down, because I don't have a lot of things to help eat up your channel points, because as you just saw, Hawker has 463,000. So just something I was thinking about, and I know it's there's a lot to do with it, but there was a way to tie it into biddies, which would be real cool, because that's like little pennies on a dollar bet, or better, channel points. I don't know how to set. I was following videos. I followed step by step written out manual like type, even though it's not a manual. It didn't work the way I wanted it. So, um, all right, I got a message coming over to you there, Mr. Hawker. Um, but yeah, I could be wrong too, just so you know in that message. But I just can't figure out how to get it to word right so people understand they're either spending biddies, which, like I say, are penny on a dollar, or I want it to go more on channel points. But of course, I'll take biddies. I mean, biddies are great. So, but anyway, I've been trying to get this to show up the way I want and set in the way I want. All right, but we'll get that. That is something I would like to try to do in July. What is July? I've been mentioning this a lot. July is the month Flying with Mike, with your gracious help, became an affiliate with Twitch. Um, and I try to celebrate it each year throughout the month of July as Pilot Appreciation Month, or in better terms, viewer appreciation, because it was you folks who watched the channel who came and got us over each of the hurdles we had to get over to become a um, uh, affiliate. Huh. Something tells me that was done pretty easy. And why can't I ever get it to do that? So, but anyway, that is what the month of July is all about. Just, flashing things. Woo, catch, the normal mail. Whoop, did a flashy thing. But anyway, month of July is the viewer appreciation. It's my way to say thank you to you, and uh, we've got to set up ways to help with the channel points so y'all can use them. Twitch is helping out with ways with your messaging to help. So I'm looking for destinations. And you've heard it, JFK, Singapore. That's not going to be 100%, but it could go something like West Coast to Japan to Singapore, or something like that. Interesting. All right, well, we'll keep working on that. I've got to figure out why it didn't automatically start my stream. Huh. Or start my recording. That is very interesting. That's something on my end I'm going to have to dig into afterwards. But anyway, folks, we're on our way and looking at about 40 minutes. All right, so we're coming into STINS 4. Now, the STINS 4, folks, you can actually, matter of fact, let's see. Pretty sure we're still too far out. We are. But anyway, basically, we're going to fly into Mendocino, ENI, down to Points, I was going to say Popeye. Point Reyes, sorry, folks. And then down to STINS. Now, like I pre-briefed, we're going to go from STINS to Woodside, OSI, and then head over here to intercept a radial off of Oakland. Get to that in a second. I am not 100% sure how the real San Francisco routes you, if they're gonna, you know, they're gonna obviously do it from here. Actually, they're radar vectoring you from SFO. Huh. Kind of interesting if they're gonna run you out and around, up, you know, how they're gonna do it. I don't know. So we, since we don't have a controller as of yet, can fly it pretty much how we want. Now, that being said, I am going to try to fly, well, I'm going to try to fly this to, with VORs. So it's a little more complicated since you can't put a standby frequency in or anything like that to kind of help bounce between them. I'll stay on the FMC. Just makes it a little easier until we get to STINs, and then I'll extend it. Yeah, it just, the more I think about it, yeah, this could get complicated. So, but anyway, that's the initial here. So again, ENI to Pi to STINs, and then from STINs, we're going to go to OSI. However, we'll take 144, cut over so we can get some decent intercepts in on the radials instead of these big arcing turns. Over Pi is 9,000 feet. So, very simply, to figure this up, take 33,000, drop to 0. So 33 minus 9. Those of you with math kids, summer quiz is 72 miles after you times it by 3. All right, so let's see here. We got, oh geez, 61 right there. So 10, we'll call it 20 miles out of ENI, unless we're told otherwise, we'll begin our descent. All right, so from here, we'll then go to the ILS. All right, first off, let's just start at the top before we start talking. Oh, we're in a break. No biggie. We don't have a video to go to, so we'll hold here until we come out of a break so everybody can hear. Gives me time to resize it so it looks better. All right, so after we fly from Ray to STINs out, okay, so then we come to the ILS for 28 right. Now we're going to come up from the south side and come in. So across the top are our frequencies, most likely 120.5. That's what's in my mind as the Sea-Tac. We'll check that in a minute. 117 or 111.7 is our localizer, your identifier. 284 for the final approach course. Axle, 1,800 feet MSL. All right, MSL is your altimeter, folks, in your gauge, your altimeter. as they say in Europe. I love that. Altimeter. Aluminium is another one I like. Bracketed is above ground. That'll be on your radar altimeter. So just so you know what they should be reading at those points. 213 or 200. 213 on the altimeter, 200 on the radar. We'll set the radar here in a minute. And then there's our field elevation, which just happens to coincide with the touchdown zone. All right, missed approach, straight out the VICU. You'll see it here in a second. And we're going to climb to 3,000 feet. And if need be, climb in the hold if we have to. Some other requirements. Okay, coming in from the north, we need at least 5,000 feet, 4,500 from the southeast, southwest, and west, 3,500. All right. So we're going to be coming down this way right about here. What I'm going to do is intercept maybe something like 090. Then when we hit the VORTAC, come off at 036, or just continue to ED and stay at 6,000 feet. Okay. Seems pretty. So up here to Seepen, Axmal, which we already went through, 1,800 feet. Seepen, descending through 33,000, so 3,000 and above. Okay, so from Axmal to missed approach, for us will be about 2 minutes, 19 seconds at about 743 feet a minute. Good luck trying to figure 743 out of this. That's how it is, folks. That's how it was. ALSIF 2, if we get into the clouds, Pappy's on the left, and 3,000 out to Vicky. We need 200.5 miles. Your METAR needs to say broken or overcast 2002 or higher for the cloud base, and a half mile or an RVR of 18 or higher. And below that, then we have category 2, category 3 approaches for this runway, so we're good to go. And you can see we're getting to Denise. One last thing, what the heck are we gonna do speed-wise? Come over to that performance, click landing. All right, we're gonna need the first off load sheet. Second off, we need runway lengths for 28 right, 11,870. I'm checking. It's been dogging us pretty good here. When we get parallels, it sets up for the left on Sim Toolkit instead of the right. I'm making sure I didn't screw that up. 13 feet, we said, so we'll come on down to 0. Runway headings probably close to 280. Slope, dry, and we did talk about this. The coldest winter day I've ever spent is a day in summer in SFO. Currently, folks, 17 degrees. Actually, it was what, 12 when we took off? It was in the 50s, I know that. Welcome to San Francisco in the winter, or in the summer. 2983. 310 at 12. Okay, and doing our due diligence here. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and bring in charts. One more time. Why? So you can kind of see where we're going with these. Look at these min, med, and max. These are our auto brake settings. We can use 7,200 feet of runway, 5,500 feet, 4,300 feet. Now, are we going to be able to tell those marks on the map? No. To get an idea where. Here comes charts. All right, so here's the infamous runway we're landing on. 4,300 feet, folks. Figure probably by the 19s ones, right here, by the box. You figure half the runway-ish, right about here, Echo to Tango. And then that would be max. Here's medium. Figure somewhere down around Quebec Romeo if we go minimum. I'm going to go medium planning Echo. Why? Because it dumps us off right here where Clippers used to park. Worst case scenario, we come off at Tango and work our way in. Okay. Brakes medium. Get that set right now. Ladies and gentlemen, 160 miles according to that. All right. And folks, I am going to be right back. Give me a moment. All right, folks, sorry about that. The granddaughter was calling me. Oh, looks like SFO ground is up. Not 100% sure, but why? Ah, what happened to my screen? Whoa. Civilware, you are all messed up in every which way possible. All right, well, that's interesting. Let me see if I can make better heads or tails out of it here. All right, because some of this does not make sense. Visibility 10 meters. 10 meters? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Boy. $10 meters is what he's calling. What's the prices right about? Um, I take it you're telling me the price is right, free? Okay. It's a little on the loud side. Sorry about that, folks. All right, here we go, folks. We're about 100 or so miles out. Oh, actually, what did I set? Yeah, we're about 20 miles from when I'm gonna start us down. And we're gonna be going down to 9,000 feet. All right. We're 42 miles out of ENI. And let me get a bearing here. 15.8. And come off on the 146. All right, a little remiss there, folks. I try to keep things kind of close, tight on here because of problems we've had in the past. And I've heard other pilots have out there when FMCs start spinning you back to starting points you didn't plan, how to avoid that. So by keeping your heading indicator right there, you can immediately on here go to heading, which will put it right on there, fix it, come back if you need to, or fly the VORs. And we're showing 40 miles here. I'm going to get down to 20 and then I'm going to start my descent. So again, hope y'all have a great weekend planned. Right now we're not running music because still keep getting copyright strikes on music that's not copy. Well, I listened to a tape from Eli, YouTube video. Nothing is technically not copyright protected, however the heck, under not what we can use. Technically, it all is copywritten. And things keep evolving out here to where we have so much trouble. So I'm getting to the point where I'm just not going to probably play much. It's just old. I get these artists deserve every ounce of that copyright. I get that. Just like you, me, those of us who stream. We're copywritten, folks. We expect, certain things. And so I get that. And it's just annoying. That's the only problem. Okay, we're starting down. And if I don't see the needle dropping here in a minute, go to VS. Now, one thing I really, really love, and I hope when the 727 comes out, different company, they at least incorporate this dial where it tells you what you're setting. Okay, we are beginning our descent. I forgot to switch to cruise. Doggone it. All right, so 12.3 will be there in a nanosecond. Our goal is you just saw it, folks. I am now on. Let's do it this way. Hang on. Put me on INS for just a second longer. 113.7. And now we're flying on VOR lock, meaning we're going to now fly 145. down to Point Reyes. And then we're going to come off 144 through Stennis, and then I'm going to kind of turn us slightly so we get a decent run at OSI and then in. Yeah, I know. I said I wouldn't do this, and well, what the heck. Frame rates are pretty good right now, so why not? Okay, we got about 50 miles to our 9,000 foot mark. I think we'll make it. And that's where we'll do our descent checks. We won't have everything locked in yet, but we'll be close enough. All right, let's just slow up a little bit here. Okay. All right, so from San Francisco, we're 77 miles out. That'll work. Okay, we're showing 9 minutes. I'm going to go ahead, set our minimums to 200. $2983, okay. Okay, we're about 25 miles away from Point Reyes. Ooh, I don't know if we're going to get 9,000 out of it or not. I'm thinking not. See how bad things are getting here. All right, just kind of getting a lay of the land coming in here, folks. All right, there's 18, and we said 2983, I believe. All right, we'll begin dumping the cabin. Okay. All right, cabin altitude is set to the field, or there close about. 9 miles to drop 9 to 7,000 feet probably will not happen. All right, so 144. All right, so let's get into this. There's 15. Okay. Seatbelts, anti-ice, exterior lights, brakes are set, INS switch set, spoilers, altimeters, landing data. GA. Sorry about that, folks. I like to give it a few miles here, folks, before I lock it back in. Otherwise, you start zigzagging out here. And Stens at 16.2.
Thousand level off. Cabin crew, take your seats.
All right, so we've got the majority of things taken care of here. We're just still worrying about getting slowed. All right, let's go continue on. However, $13.9. Okay, airport's 15 miles. That's too much typing for me. All right, folks, here we go. We need to be at 6,000 by Eddie. And I know y'all can't see this. Let me bring it in real quick. Okay, so as you look at the chart here, here we are. We're going to kind of track down, take a 090 to Woodside, and then try to come out to where we're headed towards Eddie, but then turning to intercept the radial here. It looks like this on the charts. Clicks, there we go. So we're coming down the coast. We're going to head into Woodside. We're going to intercept the 151 off of Oakland. And then once we're established, I'm going to flip frequencies to the localizer and get us on that. 6,000, 3,000 at CPIN right here. And then bring it in. That's the game plan, folks. Will it work? All right, we're coming to bring, here comes Woodside in. See the needle coming down. At 1 dot, folks, I am going to begin to turn us to 090. 16 mile out. And we're going to go ahead, go into a descent to 6,000. Altitude select is on. Let's just put that on at 1,000 feet. All right, there we go. So now sorry about that, folks. So now we're tracking due east straight to the VOR. At the VOR is when I'm going to make that turn to intercept Oakland. Okay. Then, once we're on it, I'll switch us to the localizer. This is where it kind of stinks not having where I could already have it set, push the button, boom, it puts it in. Welcome to two-man crew here. And the fact you could use both. The other thing is I have this set up on a generalized, actually on the outbound if we missed approach. So I can use it. We're now 10 miles out, 7,000 feet, down to 6. Let's go ahead and, do I have a speed restriction by chance? Maximum 240, so that does not mean that's the speed I have to do. Just don't go faster. All right, so we're tracking really good on it. We're starting to get where, you remember folks, VORs are line of sight. So it's going to be below us by about a mile, just over a mile. At 5 miles, I'm going to put it on heading. $16.80. Intercept, okay. My bad, I went the whole wrong way. Okay, folks, here we go. First set of flaps out.
Flaps 1. Flaps 5. Approach checklist, please.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness.
Check.
Seatbelts and no smoking signs.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off. Localizer alive.
Exterior lights.
Check.
Outer brakes.
Medium.
Radio INS switches.
Radio.
Flight director computer selectors.
Check.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Spoilers.
Hold on. Armed.
Altimeters.
1010. Set and cross-check.
Landing data, EPR and airspeed bugs.
Set and cross-check. Gear down.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness. Check. Fuel panel. Check. Fuel heat. Wait.
Flaps 10. Gears down, green light.
Off. EPR computer. Go around. Cabin altitude. Check. Circuit breakers. Check. Approach checklist completed.
Flaps
Runway
20.
in sight. And San Francisco traffic, Clipper 125 heavy, approximately 10-mile final, 28 right.
Flaps 25. Flaps 30. Landing checklist.
Gear.
Down and check.
Down and check. Flaps.
Flaps 30.
Flaps 30. Ignition.
Flight start.
Anti-skid.
Check.
Altimeters. 1010. Set and cross-checked. Landing checklist completed.
Alright folks, we are final, flaps down gear, green, brakes set, flaps 30-30, cleared to land. And San Francisco traffic, 3-mile final, 28 right for Clipper 125 heavy.
$1,000.
Stable landing.
$500. approaching minimums. Minimums. $50, $40, $30, $20, $10. Check reverse.
Okay, idle reverse is on.
Out, off, reverse. 60 knots. Auto brake off. Flaps up.
21.8.
Speedbird 2822, radio check.
Speedbird 2822, San Francisco ground, loud and clear.
So I got a feeling he's gonna San Francisco ground, Clipper 125's off runway 28 right, taxi to Terminal 2.
For 125 heavy, San Francisco ground, roger. Continue straight ahead, a half left on Delta, and cross, actually hold short runway 28 left for landing traffic.
We'll continue to hold short 28 left for arriving traffic.
Ground United 47, I guess someone is at Tower KH. We're going to take gate Echo 9.
Echo 9, okay, very well. 47 into Echo 9. Have a good day.
Good day, thank you.
And yeah, 2237, I'm going to pull in on your right-hand side now at Echo 9. Just use caution and push back approved when able. Alright, push back approved, 2237, thanks. Okay, Clipper 125, yeah, the landing traffic is taken 28 right, so continue straight ahead, half left on Delta, cross runway 28 left, and turn left on taxiway Bravo.
And Clipper 125 crossing 28 left, half turn on to Delta, and Bravo to Terminal 2.
Clipper 125, once you're on Bravo, you can use Echo to get over to Terminal 2. Have a good day.
Alright, Echo once we're on Bravo into Terminal 2, thanks. Clipper 125 heavy.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, I love the retro, that's awesome.
Thought we'd spice it up a little.
Absolutely, well done. United 837 heavy, no traffic on the 28 finals at the moment. One joining maybe a 12-mile base leg. You can change over to Sea-Tac 120.5. Have a good trip to Narita. So long.
Alright, we're just doing this right now, folks.
Speedbird 222 requesting arm for clearance to gap.
Speedbird 2822, roger, clearance on the clock for me. 1 moment, I'll be right back with you. San Francisco ground, good day, United 3929 vacated on Quebec. Yeah, 3929 San Francisco ground, good afternoon. Continue ahead on Quebec, cross runway 28 left, what's your gate assignment? Continue straight on Quebec and cross runway 28 left, and we would like to go to gate Foxtrot 2, United 3929.
Echo 2930, roger. As you cross on Quebec, to stay in Quebec and join Alpha, the inner taxiway to the gate. Have a good day.
After Quebec, join Alpha and then the inner taxiway to our gate for United 3929. Good day.
Good after, just. Speedbird 2822, clearance available, advisory to copy.
Ready to copy, Speedbird 282.
0282, clear to Gatwick via the Santana to departure. Tipperary transition, that is filed. Climb via the SID, except maintain 3000. Departure is offline, squawk 3272.
Oh, this was set up for Virgin America.
Santana to departure. Trippy transition, climb via SID, except maintain 3000, and squawk 3272. Speedbird 282.
2822, read back, correct. It is Mike is current, advise ready for push and start, and you can expect runway 28 left for departure.
Still left for departure, and Wilco, Speedbird 282.
Ground Unit 2237 coming out at 6 Alpha, ready for taxi.
2237, roger, runway 1 left, taxi via Alpha, Foxtrot 1, Bravo.
1 left via Alpha, Foxtrot 1, Bravo, Unit 2237.
All right, folks. We'll go through the brake pressure, body brakes. Get up here, turn this off. Okay.
Cabin crew, disarm slides.
Engine, wing, radar, transponders to standby. And spoilers, trims.
Toronto again, United 1995, requesting clearance to Vegas.
Okay, now 1995, San Francisco, roger, flow again, clearance available when you're ready to copy.
Ready to copy, United 1995.
After landing checklist.
Okay, now 1995, go down to Vegas via
Brake
the
pressure.
Stick 5 departure,
Check.
Intel transition.
Loading and steering.
Climb via the
Arm.
SID, departure
Outer
offline,
brakes.
squawk 3724.
Ignition.
Clear to Vegas via the Stick 5 departure, Intel transition. Climb via the SID, squawk 3724, United 1995.
1995, read back, correct. It is Mike is current, altimeter 2983, advising ready for push. Expect runway
Engine
1 left.
and wing and the ice. Off.
We've got it
Radar and
flying,
transponder.
and we're expecting runway
Standby.
1
Flaps.
left, United 1995.
Spoilers.
Down.
Stabilizer trim.
7 units.
Outflow valves. Open. Pressurization mode selector. Manual. Aft cargo heat. Off. APU. Check. Checklist completed.
cockpit to ground. Put the chocks on.
Chocks are on.
Reason I do that, folks, for some reason the brakes a lot of times don't set up, so I put them on, and that'll get her set good. All right, and the first one it will say,
All right, secure cockpit checklist.
Brakes.
and they are set now.
Beacon lights.
They aren't.
Off.
INS.
Damn. Align.
Probe and window heat.
Damn. Off. Damn.
Hang on.
Back valves. Check. Fuel boost pumps. Wait. Off. Reserve tank valves. Wait. Closed. Hydraulic panel. Check. Oxygen. Check. Flight recorder. Off.
Emergency lights.
Off.
Radar.
Damn. Off.
INS. This. Off. Wait. Radio switches.
Checklist completed.
All right, folks, welcome San Francisco. A lot of people here because of FS Expo down in Vegas. As you heard, they're headed that way. Short hop gets you there in a heartbeat. Plus there's a new addition. Oh, by the way, we actually stayed online. How about that? While we were here. Yeah, we actually stayed online for that approach. Cool. That kind of made me happy. All right, so beautiful flight. Love it. Let's see how we did. I'm going to go ahead disconnect. First thing we'll do is check in with Pan Am Virtual. There we go, to give you all a good thing there. Last plug for them. Folks, if you are looking for them, great Pan Am, as you heard the guy, classic airline. I mean, it's one of the big icons out there from yesteryear, granted no longer. I always kid around, and if you know aviation history, you understand what I'm about to say. If TWA and Pan Am would have got together, would they have gone away? Now, granted, one's kind of sort of would have, but would the bones of both airlines still be here? Technically, American is with TWA with American. There's a hell of a story there too. Pan Am, not so much. But if the two would have came together, buried the hatchet, not in each other, but just buried the problems, got together, I bet you that airline would still be here in a form or another. TWAM, I don't, or Pan WA, I don't know. So that part would be the hard part to work out. But like I said, the iconicness of these two airlines would still be here. You can find them here at crew.pavirtual.com. Both airlines are represented here. And also, if you're into DCS, they have a flying squadron over there on DCS. Now, you're not flying 747s or 737s, which neither had, or Airbuses. But, oh no, correction, Airbus 300, 310 for Pan Am, not 320s. But you're not going to fly those into combat. Sad to say, but they do have a squadron over there. So check them out, folks. PAAvirtual.com. Pan Am's ICAO was Papa Alpha Alpha, so PAAvirtual.com. All right, let's take a look at this as I wrap it up. I really wish it would tell me on the first page. It did not. All right, so let me go over here, relog in to panamvirtual.com. And they got us at 159 feet a minute. It did feel pretty good. We're offline, so maybe we'll get that chance. I'm going to go ahead, hook us up. Know if we're close on. Oh, yeah, we are. And let's go ahead. Head over here. And we'll just instantly unload. Reason being, I don't want to be held up. All right. And by the way, have we figured out a second flight? It doesn't have to be in the 747, folks. It can be, you know, we'll take a look at schedules, see what we can do. Let me get rid of X-Pilot. Let's take a look at Sim Toolkit. Now, they tend to grade us pretty badly. A little bit. Not bad. 224 today. 121 knots on the landing speed. We're trying to get better at flaring a lot lower to the ground. That's one thing I have been noticing. I haven't been able to bring her in nose up. It's always kind of like dragging in nose down. And I don't know if that was a 747 200 thing or not. I know the 400s, they came in nose high. So, all right. So anyway, 224, let's click it. And there's Pan Am. Let's get the basics here. You can see the routing. Oh, man, these numbers already look good, folks. Just under 2 hours, 590 miles, 19,000 kilograms of fuel, 1G on the landing. Earned my paycheck today with Pan Am. 224 feet a minute, we already mentioned that, and 121 knots. Earned my paycheck today, folks. Did it anyway. I told you, folks, these parallel runways, they keep doing this to us. Now, why am I laughing? Okay, it was planned 2-8 right, and yet it still brought us up on 2-8 left. I don't know what to say here, folks. Oh, I didn't have my numbers planned for that runway. That's where. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right, but anyway, well, we landed over here where the green dot is. Where the blue dot is, that's what Sim Toolkit had us set up for. I even checked, folks. They cracked me up. Anyway, folks, 2-8 left. So basically, we'll have to kind of eyeball it, but the threshold starts right here, the long white bar with the arrows in front of it. Not that arrow, these little arrows. Anything in front of that, folks, is the landing zone up to here. Now, the good thing being an 11,000 foot runway, we got plenty of runway. And that's why I wasn't worried. Here's where we're aiming for. Oh, wow. I've never seen this setup for in the landing zone. Huh, interesting. Wonder if that's something to do for the Navy. Not sure. Anyway, that's kind of interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. But anyway, aim points here. Your PAPIs are somewhere in this vicinity. ILS, same thing. Aiming you to these big white pads. You'll see them if we get to do the approaches that I plan to do to replay this. We ended up down here, and looking at this, we're right on the center, folks. Oh, I'll take it. And as you know, we exited right here, taxied the half turn on Delta to the turn on Bravo. I don't know where he was talking Echo. Hang on, I'm curious on that one. Ah, he was wanting us to come in the sixes here. Okay. I came down here to the fives. Okay, I blew that one. Oh well. So, but overall, folks, the numbers are really good. That was a really felt good. Thankfully, we finally got some justice with Sim Toolkit. All right, and again, folks, panamvirtual.com, PAAvirtual.com, crew.PAAvirtual.com. Let me get it right, crew.PAAvirtual.com. And again, the scenery is, I'm trying to figure out why would I want to buy scenery here. I really am, folks. It looks great. It really does. I just don't know. The only part I don't like is it is set up for the old Virgin America right in here at Terminal 2. That's where Virgin America parked. But boy, I really like it. And I'm sure they'd have us come in a little further for the middle L2. But anyway, let's see if we can't. This first, because we saw it yesterday, we had to, and I'm still shocked we were able. Click, 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 and click. All right.
Cockpit to ground. Remove the chocks.
Chocks removed.
All right, well, we'll try some music here, folks. I can't guarantee anything, but let's see what happens. See, maybe it's just the way we look at them on the ground. Because that actually looks right. Here's where we were supposed to land. A little long, but you know what, folks? Oh, man. That really looked good. Beautiful, beautiful landing. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed. We're going to take a look at least one from the camera in the seat by the engines. Beautiful, folks, beautiful. And let's take a look one more time. I think it's that one. You see how the pappies and all work? Yeah, it just, oh. Man, doesn't get any better than that. Well, yeah, it would. Hovered. Boom. All right, we're going to go one more time, folks, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up right now. Unless you all have an idea, I'm going to try to figure out what's another good... Oh, we're not going to be able to watch it. Aw. Well, we'll just do it this way. Yeah, you see, I flared a little high. Unless you all have something in mind, I'd love to hear it. But thank you, folks, for being a part of this part of Flying with Mike. It has been a blast. I am going to go check in. We're going to take a quick break here and regroup, try and figure out where we are going to try to fly to next. So let's see. Beautiful, beautiful landing. Let's put her back into gate. And we'll go ahead and wrap up this segment. And give me a couple seconds, see if I can't ascertain something worthwhile. No.
Cockpit to ground, put the chocks on.
Chocks are on.
All right, with the chocks in. All right, folks, there you have it. A nice shot of the Bay Area here in San Francisco. We going to Singapore now? No, I'm not even up to Tokyo today. And I can't be honest tell you if we could to Tokyo right now. But anyway, we'll try to come up with something. So hang on, folks, and we will see what we can find. We'll be right back. Hope you all enjoy. Nice looking plane here. Give me a second.